Ghost on the trail. The jungle eats men whole. Tonight it ate his platoon. They marched into an ambush. Shouts, flashes, fire. Then silence. When the smoke cleared, he was alone. Alone with the jungle. Alone with himself. And alone with me. He stumbles through the black, breath hitching, mud grabbing his boots like hands. Every sound is enemy fire. Every shadow a helmet crouching. He whispers names under his breath, names that won't answer. Sometimes he swears he hears them. Boots behind him, rifles slung, canteens clinking. He doesn't look back. He's afraid their faces will still be there. War makes the jungle loud. His fear makes it deafening. He grips his rifle like it's a rope over a pit. He has no direction left to shoot, only the ache to keep moving. A branch cracks, a rhythm in the brush that does not belong to wind. He thinks enemy patrol. He thinks Americans. But I am not American. I am not patrol. I am the silence that chooses when to break. The jungle is swollen with death. Corpses feed me well. Men who fall and are never found. War has fattened me with flesh, but I prefer it warm. And tonight, this one is mine. He pushes through leaves slick as tongues. Humidity clings to him until breath becomes water. A single fog of mosquitoes needles his neck, his wrists. He swats and keeps moving. Roots rise like ribs from the earth. Vines tug his gear until he curses them like thieves. A leech finds his calf. He doesn't notice until it swells with his heat. When he tears it free, it leaves a dark tear in his skin. He keeps walking. He must. The ground buckles into a slope slick with clay. He slides a yard, catches a branch, and the branch sighs, too human. He flinches, brings the rifle up, sights a shape. It is a fallen log. He almost fires. He almost apologizes to it. He hurries on. The canopy lowers like a lid. The air tastes of sap and iron, rot and old smoke. He thinks the smell is men resting ahead. It is not. I drift where he cannot see. Not far, not near. Just enough to touch the edges of his hearing. To teach his nerves a lesson his mind refuses. He stops, listens. The jungle performs its thousand small violences, leaves gnawing light, ants marching a silent war, water choosing one stone over another for a century. Somewhere a night bird laughs at gravity. He moves again, slower. He wants to be careful, but fear sends urgency hurrying down his legs. He reaches a narrow creek, shin-deep black as ink. He steps into it, and the cold runs all the way to his teeth. The water knits around his ankles and tugs. He wades, rifle held high, breath caged tight. On the far bank, something shifts. He freezes. 2 fireflies rise from the grass. And for a breath, he sees them as cigarettes, orange coals cupped in unseen hands. He ducks behind a root, whispering, "Don't breathe. Don't breathe." The fireflies blink out. He laughs once, a sound that breaks in the middle. He doesn't look back at the water. He doesn't see what watched him cross. Time loosens its grip. Minutes stretch like vines. Seconds snap like twigs. He loses the trail, finds a trail, loses a different one. Every path is a promise that has already betrayed someone. A sudden wind threads the canopy. Leaves speak in a language older than orders. He hears a word in it. Move. He moves. Faster now, downhill into darkness that smells of standing water. A cattail marsh receives him with a soft, sucking sound. Mud tries to own his boots. He refuses to be owned. The reeds part a yard to his left. He pivots, sights, waits. Nothing. Reeds drift back to reed. He keeps going. The ground firms under his soles. A stand of bamboo rises like a choir of spears. Something breathes in there. He tells himself it is his own lungs. The jungle squeezes closer. His shirt sticks to him like a second skin that wants the first. He tastes salt and metal. He swallows both. He stops at a clearing no bigger than a table. Above, a patch of sky, dull pewter, lets down a drip every few heartbeats. He lets his legs fold. He doesn't sit. He collapses carefully. He places the rifle across his knees. He closes his eyes the way a man closes a door in a storm, knowing it won't hold, needing it to hold anyway. Somewhere behind the tree line, a laugh rises. It is a monkey. He thinks it is a man. The laugh stops first. He tells himself stories about rescue. He imagines the squad moving back along the trail, calling low, hands signaling patience. He imagines flares, maps, clean water. He imagines the names he whispered answering. Then the world narrows to a sound, a small weight on leaf litter, a measured placement of something that is not boot and not bird. He opens his eyes, sees nothing, because I am stripes where the world is stripes. He rises, slower than fear wants. He goes, not toward safety. There is no safety here, but toward the idea of it. The hill ahead lifts like a spine. He climbs. Halfway up, the slope gives. He stumbles forward and lands chest first in a cradle of ferns. The ferns shake once, twice, and still. He lies there, listening to the ferns' memory of him. He hears two men coordinating without speaking. He imagines hand signals. He imagines a third behind him. He turns slow, sees only the green sky of leaves and their second sky of shadow. He goes on. A tangle of roots demands a choice, left around a fallen tree, or right through brush. He chooses right. Brush throws burrs at his sleeves and seeds at his eyes. He bats them away, and the brush remembers him. The night is a mouth. He keeps stepping deeper into it. A shape on the ground ahead, a helmet. He lurches to it, drops to a knee, and finds only a round stone cupped by moss. His throat makes a sound he doesn't recognize. He swallows it. He reaches a stand of trees scarred by shrapnel, bark peeled in long coins. He reads them like a map of someone else's battle. He thinks he hears the click of a safety. He thinks he hears the soft murmur of radios. The only radio here is a frog, repeating what it knows about rain. He keeps moving, because not moving is a decision he cannot live with. I keep him between my breaths. I let him think distance is safety. I let the jungle slow him with its thousand little mercies. Mud, slope, thorn, thirst. Mercy is just delayed by another name. He reaches the skeleton of a bombed-out hooch. Only posts and 2 planks remain. A rusted mess tin lies on its side, remembering hands. He touches it like a charm. It tips and gives him his face in a brown mirror. He does not recognize the man looking up. He drinks from his canteen. It tastes like old coins and yesterday. He forces himself to sip slow. He wants to pour the whole jungle through his throat and wash it clean. A firefly lands on the canteen lip and blinks at his mouth. He laughs, once. The laugh fractures and falls. Hunt long enough and men make you poems without meaning to. The way they try not to bleed. The way they retrieve their courage from the ground after it slips. The way they keep going because stopping would be choosing a side that isn't theirs. He keeps going. The sound of a river draws him. Water means direction. Maybe people, maybe bridges, maybe not dying tonight. He follows. The bank is steep and lined with teeth of stone. He slides down on his side, banging hip, elbow, rifle. The river snatches at him with cold hands, and he hisses between his teeth. He scans the opposite bank. There, shadows that could be men. He crouches low behind a fallen trunk. The shadows move. He sightlines carefully. The shadows separate into bamboo and the space between bamboo. He breathes out, too loud. Something else breathes in. He finds a narrow ford, stones glittering like wet coins beneath the surface. He steps from one to the next, testing each with his heel. Halfway, a stone rolls. He goes to a knee in water cold enough to reset prayers. He hauls himself up, scrambles, makes the far bank, collapses to his elbows and laughs without sound. Water weeps from his sleeves. Night watches with both eyes open. He tells himself again, not here, not now. He says it out loud. The river takes the words and gives them to rocks. The trail resumes in tatters. He follows the suggestion of it. A faint bend of leaves, a sequence of pressed earth, a story told by boots and forgotten by rain. He tries to read quickly. The jungle asks him to read slowly. The hill ahead wears a crown of trees too short to be old and too old to be new. He climbs through them, and the night climbs with him. At the crest, the world is a bruise purple on black. He pauses. He could sleep here. He could die here. He chooses neither. He spins. Nothing but the idea of something. He spins back. Nothing but the idea that the idea moved. He swallows. The swallow is too loud. I shorten the distance by a thought. He senses thought. He names it wrong and keeps moving. He enters a stretch where the ground is soft with years of leaves, a quiet carpet laid by patient hands. His steps go silent. He believes this is safety. He cannot hear mine. He stops because the jungle stops. Not wind, not insect, not frog. A held breath too big to belong to one body. He turns his head, slow enough to hear neck tendons sing. There. 2 low points of ember bright in the brush, steady as stars in a sky of green. For a heartbeat, he thinks they are the eyes of men lost in the ambush, come back to haunt him. For the next heartbeat, he knows a different truth and refuses to understand it. His rifle rises. The barrel tracks a tremor he can't hold still. He whispers, "Not like this. Not like this." The words fog and vanish in the heat between us. The embers do not blink. I take one step he cannot count. The night folds an inch shorter. He backs up, heel finding nothing. He sits down hard on the idea of solid earth and discovers it was only confidence. His rifle slips into muck and breathes there. The world becomes simple. He is a shape that thinks it is more than a shape. He is a story that wants a different ending than the one already written in the dark. He scrabbles backward, boots drawing 2 long signatures in the leaf mold. His throat makes a noise animals hear as permission. He dies thinking the enemy found him. He dies believing men, not nature, were the teeth in the dark. But I am no man. I am older, hungrier, truer. I am the shadow that chooses. I am the breath between heartbeats. I am the jungle's true victory. I am the tiger. And long after his body is gone, the jungle will remember the sound he made.
You have heard another tongue speak, not a man's, but the voice of what waits in silence. Things that kill, and then remember. Do you believe what you heard tonight, or something else? Leave your truth below, like, share and subscribe, so the next tongue finds you first.